Hello friends, myself Amar. In the last tutorial, I discussed about identifiers and the various rules to declare the identifier. Okay. Now, one of the rule to declare the identifier was that we cannot use any reserved word as an identifier. Okay. In Java, the total number of reserved word present is 53. 53 reserved words are there. Some of the names I am writing like int, float, double, char and so on. All these are what? These are the reserved words. Means you can't use these reserved words to declare any identifier. Okay. Now with this some more reserved words are there like go to, const. These are also reserved words. Here one point I would like to discuss. This go to and const. Okay. Nowadays not used in Java technology, almost is a banned technology. Okay, but still you cannot use these keywords as an identifier. Okay, for example, if you are writing like int go to, this means what? Int is nothing but the data type, go to is what? The variable name. Variable name means what? Identifier. Now what I am doing, I am using this go to keyword as an identifier name. Still go to is not used in Java, but you cannot use this as identifier. This will generate compilation error. You need to remember this thing. Okay. Now after discussing this identifier concept, let me tell you about data types. The next portion which I will discuss is data type. First of all, we need to understand what is the meaning of data type. Data type means what? Data type means, or data type is used to specify what type of value a variable will hold. For example, suppose I am creating a variable with the name x, okay, equals to, now I want to assign a value. What value? Suppose I want to assign a decimal value. Okay, so I need to specify that this variable will hold what type of value? Decimal value, and to do so I need to use a data type. Int data type specifies that this variable will hold decimal value. Okay, so the main purpose of data type is to specify what type of value a variable will hold. Okay, now there are two categories of data types. Let me tell you. Let me draw a chart actually. Data types are of two types or segregated into two categories actually. The first one is called as fundamental data type, or it is also called as primitive, or it is also known as basic. Okay, and the second category is, it is called as derived or abstract, or it is also called as non-primitive. Okay, these are the two categories of the data types. Now this fundamental or primitive or basic, whatever you can say, this has been categorized into two parts. One is called as numeric data type, another one is called as non-numeric. Inside this non-numeric we have two data types. One is called as char, another one is called as boolean. And in the numeric portion again we have two categories. One is called as integral, another one is called as floating. Okay, inside integral we have byte data type, we have short data type, we have int, we have long. Okay, and in floating we have float and double. Okay, this means 4 plus 2 means 6, 7, 8. This means total primitive data types present in Java is 8. What are the examples of derived data type? The examples of derived data type can be string, array and so on. Okay, now this integral data type is used to hold decimal values. this floating data type is used to hold fractional values. This char data type is used to hold a single character, and this boolean is used to hold either true or false. Now next we need to know that what will be the size allocated for these data types. Means whenever you are creating any variable, suppose I am creating a variable x, then I need to specify the data type int. Okay. Now whenever you are creating a variable like this in Java, always some memory will be allocated. Now the memory will be allocated, what size will be allocated to that variable, that we need to understand. This means if you are declaring any variable as byte, then it will need 1 byte of memory. 1 byte means 8 bit. Short data type will require 2 byte of memory. Int will require 4 byte. Long will require 8 byte. Again, this float will require 4 byte. It will require 8 byte. Char will require 2 byte. Boolean will require 1 bit. Okay. Now suppose here I am declaring a variable having the data type as byte. Byte x equals to. Now the value which we will assign to the variable x. What is the data type of the variable? Byte. Now the value which we will assign to this particular data type, what can be the range of that particular variable, that also we should know. Range means what I am trying to say. Suppose here I am trying to write 150. Is it valid? That portion we need to know. This means if you are declaring any variable based on the data type, what can be the range of that variable, that we need to calculate, that we need to understand. Suppose if I am taking the example of byte. For byte, how much memory space is allocated? 1 byte means 8 bit. Now I need to calculate the range. Means if I declare the variable as byte, then what can be the range of values which we can store inside the byte variable? How can we calculate? Simple, we need to use a formula minus 2 to the power n minus 1 to 2 to the power n minus 1 minus 1, where n is nothing but the number of bits. Okay, n is the number of bits. N is the number of bits means what? N equals to 8. Okay. Now if you put n 8 here, then what will happen? Minus 2 to the power 8 minus 1 means 7 to 2 to the power 8 minus 1 means 7 minus 1. Okay. Now if you calculate this, it will come as minus 128 to 127. This means if you declare the variable as a byte, then the range of values which we can store there will be from minus 128 to 127. Means what I am trying to say, if I am writing here byte b equals to 128, it will be wrong. It will generate compilation error. Why? Because the maximum range of positive values which we can store is 127, but I am trying to store 128. That's why it is invalid. Okay. Similarly, by using this particular formula, you can calculate the range for the remaining integral data types very easily. Like for sort, what will be the range? Minus 2 to the power, the value of n for sort will be 16. Means minus 2 to the power 16 minus 1 to 2 to the power 16 minus 1 minus 1. You calculate and find the range. Okay. Now if you notice one thing here, in integral data type, if you are using this formula, this means these data types can accept positive values as well as negative values, right? Like the range is minus 128 to 127. This means here I can hold positive plus negative. That's why this numeric data type, including floating also, this numeric data type is also known as signed data type. Why it is signed? Because I can store both positive as well as negative. But in case of non-numeric character, is it possible to say that we have a negative character like minus a, minus b, minus c? Similarly, boolean means minus true, minus false. This is not possible. That's why this non-numeric data type is also known as unsigned data type. Okay. So these are the different categories of data types. the memory space required for the data types, and how to calculate the range. Okay, in the next video I will discuss about literals. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.